So I didn't even get a chance to prepare any questions like I always do because this was like super fast, but I figured I really wanted to do it before we lost the momentum, and also because I'm heading to Europe for 3 weeks next week and I wouldn't be able to do it, and so I was like, all right, well, let's just do it. It'll be natural.
Sure.
It'll be a conversation, whatever comes out, and I'm sure you guys will have a lot of value to deliver for my audience. So I'm very happy to have you both here. Thank you. And
No, thanks for
so,
having us. I'm super
Pleasure's
excited.
all mine.
amazing. So why don't we start with introductions? Why don't you guys, each of you, why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about you for the few people who may not know who you are, and let's do it.
Meiyoko, I'll let you go first since last time we did a joint podcast. I stole the show and went first.
Okay, well, to go first, hello everybody. My name's Meiyoko Taylor. I'm a two-time best-selling author, celebrity personal development and mindset coach, and I'm just truly passionate about letting people helping people understand that success is an inside job. We don't often do the inside work, and because of that, our outside life leads to a lot of frustration, a lot of lack of finances, broken relationships, just a lot of different areas of our lives that need improvement. And so I constantly teach people that if you do the inner work, if you find out what's buried underneath the surface, then it'll transform your life in so many areas in so many ways. So that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. I'm the mindset guy.
That's beautiful. What about you, Eddie?
I love it. That's tough to top. My name is Eddie Truck Gordon. I like to think that I'm just an ordinary guy, man, that just decided to switch his mindset and try to do extraordinary things. First and foremost, I'm a super proud father of 4 beautiful boys. Can't make any girls. I really want a girl super bad, but it's not in my cards, I guess. I am a UFC Ultimate Fighter champion. Used to be a corporate America guy. I'm very proud of that story because I beat the odds. I did what everybody thought I couldn't do. I was overweight, depressed, lonely, emotionally, physically, financially, everything you could possibly think of. And something in my heart believed in myself when other people didn't. And I made a pretty good life for myself of continually fighting. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also a best-selling author. Thanks to this amazing guy, Mr. Meiyoko Taylor himself. He saw something in me that I didn't even see. I'm a New York Emmy award-winning fighter, so I won a New York Emmy. I never thought I'd be saying that as well. And now the co-host of the Art of Winning show, which is doing amazing things, connecting just amazing people, allowing them to tell their story. And college graduate, and I guess that sums it up in a nutshell. But the most important thing I want the listeners to know is that I didn't think any of these things would be possible. But until you believe in yourself, nobody else is going to, and that's kind of how we're all connected right now.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
And I just want to add that he is a UFC Ultimate Fighting champion. Everybody.
That's a little.
I want to hear more about that because you just said you used to be in corporate America, that you were overweight and unhealthy and all of that. How did you go from corporate America to UFC? How did that happen?
It's kind of crazy. I worked in finance. I was double major from Fordham University. I did marketing communications as well as finance. Didn't make it to the NFL. If I thought I was a professional athlete, that would be the one that I would have picked. I was a 2-time captain in college, Division I, and it didn't work out. They thought I was too vertically challenged, too short, so I couldn't make it. And then I went to corporate America, worked, did all that finance stuff, got burnt and tired. Oh, the boss is calling.
No
this is as
problem.
real as it gets. The little one's coming. So our ratings are going to go through the roof now. This guy always draws the ratings. Anytime he's on a podcast I do, it takes off. So this is a special omen. So I was in corporate America, and it's very, very depressing, man. No matter how much money you make people in finance, they're mad they didn't make as much as their friends. And if you lose their money, you lost their money. So they're never happy. I went on vacation. I went to go watch a UFC event live because I like to gamble. I like to, travel, and I like to watch sports. I put them all 3 together. When I went, I was watching with these different eyes. I fell in love. I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. But at that point, I was over 300 pounds. I was over 300 pounds. My mirror stopped working. I broke down inside mentally. I lost my passion to compete because once football didn't happen, I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done with my athletic career. taking clients out to dinner and whining and dining, eating, and I wasn't doing the same exercise, so I blew up. And when I'm telling this to my friends, they're like, you had way too many Red Bull and vodkas. You're not going to be able to do this. You're too old. You're too fat. It's too late. And I just, the whole entire time was just watching, and I'm like, no, I believe in myself. I can do it. And not that I recommend this for everybody. I left corporate America, started training. I had an amazing mentor that believed in me even when I had some doubt, because if I tell you I was 100% in it the whole time, I wasn't. I was a little bit nervous because at that point I already had 2 kids. And I literally went all in, and it took off. I got selected by the UFC after 2.5 years to compete in this show called The Ultimate Fighter. Out of 5,000, people all across the world, whether it's Brazil, Chile, South America, North America. Not only did I got picked up, but I also won the whole entire thing. Got a 6-figure contract. It opened up huge doors for me, gave me platform to reach and connect with people, and it literally changed my life. So I was very, very grateful. And I got adult ADD, so I'm going to sidetrack. Yesterday was so powerful because yesterday was the first time I switched my Twitter handle. And the reason I did it, people did not understand, Instagram handle. And people thought I was crazy because when you switch your handle, you lose your verification badge. And me and Meiyoko always had this conversation. I felt that I'm more than a UFC fighter. I'm more that, there's so much more layers to me. I'm like an onion. And I wanted to get away from that title, especially Truck MMA _ UFC. No, that doesn't define me. I just wanted my own name. And when I contacted them, they told me, oh, you're going to lose your badge. And I contemplated it, but I said, you know what? Doesn't matter. I am who I am. People should enjoy me for me. And I ended up taking the leap of faith, switched it. People thought I was crazy. If you see my inbox, I never got so many more responses. What are you doing? You're nuts, this and that. And I was like, guys, it's just a little check mark on the thing. That doesn't define who you are. And that goes back to my story. If I didn't believe in myself and be comfortable in my own skin after I was so uncomfortable, I would have never been here. So that was the side note. So that's the story of the fat banker, out of shape dad that became this professional athlete. And I guess I did some things that not many people in the world could ever say they've done.
That's outstanding. I mean, the like I said when we were talking the other day, I'm not very familiar with the UFC. The only reason I know about it, it's because I'm a big fan of Friends, the TV show. And there's one season where, if you guys are familiar with the show, where Monica is dating a billionaire guy, and the guy is like, all right, I'm already a billionaire, I've done this and that, so now I need to be the ultimate fighting champion. And the guy goes and starts training, and the guy gets beaten up. He's terrible at fighting, and then Monica dumps him because she tells him, "No, you're terrible," and he says, "I'm not gonna quit until I am the ultimate fighting champion." So that's the only reason why I know it.
That's great.
So
I gotta see that episode. My son watches every episode of Friends. I gotta catch
Friends.
up.
It's at the end. I think it's at the end of the second or third. At the end of the third or second season. The third. At the end of the third. So yeah, you'll like that. So Meiyoko, what about you? Did you have a career in the corporate world? And
it's actually funny because I was in the financial services industry too.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
we have so much in common. It's so funny. But my thing was, I was growing up, I was always that little kid giving everybody advice. I was always that person that was trying to teach, trying to educate. Get out of here, little guy. That was me. So people will ask me, when did I start to get into coaching? And I'll say, coaching chose me. I never chose it, because it's something that I always had a passion for. But to make a long story short, I found myself in life listening to, whether it be parents, peers, the media, those types of things, going to corporate America, working a job that I actually hated. I mean, I would get up in the morning and you're talking about panic attacks, headaches, all those good things that come with anxiety. And I was in a relationship, for 7 years that was emotionally draining. And I was overweight myself. I mean, I'm 5'10", wet. Back then it was 170 pounds. And I had been well over, 240, 250. So for me, that was huge. Mm. And I remember one day looking in the mirror, and I call this, everybody has their mirror moment. And I just burst into tears. And I said, one of two things has to take place. Either I'm going to continue down this road in these particular situations, and only God knows what's going to happen to me, or I can make the scariest decision I'll ever make in my life, and that's to go against everything that was conventional, everything that I was taught that you're supposed to do the right way, go completely the opposite direction. And that's what I did. And when I did that, I found the weight being lifted a little bit, and I came into this aspect of self, like, you know what, there's so much opportunity out there. But then it was just like, who the heck am I though? I had gotten so caught up in everything else, I didn't really know who I was. So, I mean, personal development, wasn't something that was talked about in my immediate circle. So I went online and went to Google and was like, how to find yourself, like just typing stuff, and then personal development came up. And then once personal development came up, I saw Tony Robbins. Then I saw Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, T. Harv Eker, Les Brown, so many different people. And I was just like, oh my God, who are these people? Like, personal development literally is something that you should be doing. And so I really, really became fascinated by it. But what I was really finding is the motivation was good, but it would only sustain me temporarily. I would go back to my own environment, and it's just like, okay, that makes me feel good, but what am I supposed to be doing? And that really started my journey into really understanding mindset and understanding behavior and habits and all those different things. So it caused me to pursue, the professional aspect of coaching, emotional mastery, and getting certifications and all that stuff. So once that was done and I started to experience certain levels of success, wrote a best-selling book, started to work with celebrities and public figures, now it was just like, okay, that's not enough. This is good for me, but how do I give back more value to other people? There has to be a way for other people to do the same thing, because I don't think I'm any greater than anybody else. I think we all are equally great and have unique skill sets. So when I started to find that stuff out, I started to develop my own coaching programs and started to do these things, which landed me into this awesome young guy here. And, we've been working together on an amazing podcast, and it's just been an interesting journey and something that sticks out right now as we're talking, because we all share very unique experiences, but I think the same thing applies, and that's you can't cheat the process. Like, you just can't cheat it. Like, you can't go from point A to point Z when it comes to the experiences in life. You're going to go through that particular transition. Like you were saying when you were on our podcast a few days ago about how, you realized that you were at a place in your life where you wanted more. You knew that there was something greater inside you, and you weren't utilizing your gifts and your abilities to their fullest potential. So it caused you to step out of that comfort zone and start to pursue what that greater was. And now you have this amazing person that we're looking at right now that's accomplishing great things. So I think, had you have tried to cheat that process, you would have gone back and still been in the same environment. So that's just something that really sticks out in my mind. You can't cheat the process. And there's a lot of people out here that listen to these overnight self-help gurus, or they go on Instagram and they're by the private jet and they have their ads. And most people don't know that you can actually rent by the hour these private jets and these cars and snap a bunch of photos.
And they do it
like you're doing a high life. Like it's a false representation. And I really think that you're headed for a fall when you do that, because it's not authentic. It's not the reality of it. You're trying to cheat the process. And one thing about life, it has a way of really, really showing you what you are and what you're not.
You got it. It's really sad to see. I was reading an article recently, I don't know, a couple months ago, about a woman who said how Instagram destroyed her life because she because she was trying to become an influencer, and she was trying to cheat the process, like you just said. She was doing the whole renting the fake house, the fake private jet that wasn't yours, where you can just pay. There are actually companies now where you pay to take that kind of photo shoot, where you pretend that you're flying on that jet and all of that. And I think that's so sad that we are losing that.
It's so scary. I think it's scary, and the reason why it scares me is because people are literally like I've been through so many ups and downs with social media, and I don't. It hurts my heart when I hear my kids or I see people that are literally like trying to create this fake phony life. Like, how sad is that you're not happy with who you are? And I tell people all the time, like, when I look to do things, I just love authenticity, because once you're free and once you know that you are who you are, you never have to worry about putting on a fake facade. You don't have to worry about lying. You don't have to worry about so many different things. And so many kids now are coming up looking at these people, and they don't realize it. They think, oh, well, I'm going to drop out of school. I'm going to get a private jet. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. You have to be happy with you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're not happy before you get that money, you're never going to be happy. And people wonder why so many millionaires and rich people end up committing suicide or killing themselves. It's because they might be financially rich, but mentally and just physically and emotionally, they're as broke and poor as you can possibly think of. And that's the whole thing with the whole blue check mark. People I couldn't believe, I put so much positive stuff about like drug prevention and addiction kicking and charities and this, and a blue check mark. I couldn't believe how many like people were just over the moon. And I get the whole blue check mark. It's your hard work, you put in this and that, but it still doesn't divide me. There's a lot of people that's working their tail off and doing amazing things, better things than I'm doing, that doesn't have a blue check mark. And it's the whole perception of what people find importance and value in.
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
It's the whole thing of success. And I often, when I coach and tell other people, I often say success is personal. You got to take that personal. My version of success is going to be different from Eddie's, different from yours, Carolina. And the thing is, the blue check mark syndrome is what I like to call it, is that success is being determined by this check mark. Success is being determined by the private jets and by the cars, by everything. So when people see that, it's just like, okay, if that's what success is, I have to live up to that expectation. One of the things that really stuck out about following you on your email list, because I read your emails often, is that I would see you traveling. I would see you smiling, whether it was with your husband or whether it was you just in these amazing sceneries. I'm like, this woman is genuinely happy. You can tell when someone is genuinely happy. You're traveling the world. You're doing what you love to do. This is your version of success.
Exactly.
Somebody's version of success may be something completely different, because at the end of the day, this is why people have fancy cars, have big houses, they commit suicide, they get strung out on drugs, they're depressed, they're not happy, because there's a void there. There's part of them that they don't even know. So they've been caught up in what everybody else expects of them. They don't even know who they are. They haven't even really tapped into that yet. So it's so important. Well, like I was one of the people that told Eddie, I said, look, you worked hard for that blue check mark. What that blue check mark does is it does attract a certain audience to you. There is benefit to it. But you know what? I have to respect this man, because he said, you know what? I understand that. But at the same time, I got to practice what I preach. And we always talk about walking the talk. So we're talking about blue check marks. So for him to give up his blue check mark and actually take his name, I mean, that actually inspired me beyond ways that he can possibly imagine. So, I mean, somebody that walks the talk.
I'm a big believer. Like, if I can't do something that I'm telling people to do, then I don't want to be phony. I don't want to ever fall into that phony thing. And I tell people all the time that I was never always this person that had so much confidence. I was never always this person that truly believed in all these things, because I had to do a lot of personal development. It goes back to that whole story. I didn't believe in it. I thought it was like a little facade. I didn't believe in Tony Robbins. I thought he was just a guy that wanted to make money, until before I got popular, before I got famous, I had an opportunity to speak with him. From that day, like, it blew my mind. And I'll never forget what he told me. He said he started doing like some certification, and he was reading it. He loved it. And he went across the street and he tried to practice it. And then the people that were running the certification class got mad at him, because he was like, you can't help anybody until you get our certification. And he was like, I can't help anybody until I get a piece of paper. He's like, that's insane to me. He ended up getting kicked out of that certification class. He never told me what certification class it was. But the thing that stuck with me was the fact that he was like, life experience resonates over any piece of paper. Like, you have to live life, you have to experience. I want to talk to somebody that been through something that can lead me through it. And that blew my mind and always stuck with me. From that day on, I started to dabble on into personal development, and it took over my life. It made me a better father, made me a better fiance, a better dad, it made me just a better person in general. And I learned through personal development, it's just that, it's personal.
Yeah, your experience certified you, man.
Exactly.
You got it.
And everybody's going to develop personally. We don't know what somebody else is going through. And if we stop comparing our chapter 1 to everybody else's chapter 20, we'll just be in a better place, a better world, and people will be generally more happy. So that's it. So I'm finally myself. I can be myself on Instagram. I'm so excited.
You got it. There's I remember, I don't know what book it was that I was reading. I think it was The Magic of Thinking Big. And they talk about comparisonitis, like a disease where you compare yourself to other people. And that's like the worst thing you can do. Because if you're always comparing yourself to others, you will never be pleased. You will never be happy with who you are because somebody has it better or somebody's prettier or this and that. But you have to compare yourself to yourself. And so I love the message that you just conveyed, Meiyoko. I still can't say your name. Meiyoko?
It's Meiyoko. You can call me Yoko for short. I'm sure you heard of Yoko Ono, John Lennon.
Hey, all right, John. I'm just going to call you John.
I always get that. They're like, Yoko, like Yoko Ono? I'm like,
it's funny. The first day, because Meiyoko, we got to tell a story how we actually met. I met this guy on Instagram, and he direct messaged me. And it was crazy because I get so many crazy DMs. I usually ignore them. And a lot of times, like we spoke about before, Carolina, it was multi-level marketing. And some people just don't take no for an answer. And it's like, I'm already involved like this, and they don't take no for an answer. So I was expecting him to ask me to do something and wanted something from me. And I was very hesitant. And he just always, from month to month, just checked up on me and said, hey, how's everything going? Was very genuine. And then reluctantly, I gave this guy my phone number, like, all right, he's playing a nice guy role. Let me feel this guy out. And we finally had a conversation, and it was just amazing. Wow. But the first, when he actually called me, I'm like, Meiyoko. I was like, is this Chinese? I'm like, is like this a nickname? And I was expecting, and it was just like, what I was expecting was just not the same person. So back to the actual topic of Miyoko's name, that it blew my mind too. So don't worry, I still mess up. So I just call him Yoko.
All right, Yoko. No, but seriously, I love it. I love the story because I do get a lot of spam as well in my Instagram, my Facebook. But every now and again, I go in and I go through it, and at least 1 or 2 messages out of 15 or 20 turn out to be good. Like, people who genuinely want to ask you something or want to talk to you or want to add value to you. So that's great. I mean, that if you guys met because suddenly you decided to respond to this guy with a weird Japanese name.
Well, it's really, and I tell people this all the time. One of the biggest reasons why other influencers don't connect with other influencers, or you don't connect to an influencer, is because 1, you're going about it the wrong way. And 2, you just don't do it. I mean, it's just the fact of reaching out to someone, but you want to realize, okay, what value can I give this other person, and genuinely care. And I think I get DMs too, where it's just like, do you want to invest in cryptocurrency? And I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'll let them follow me, and I'll say hi, how you doing? It's the next thing you're trying to sell me something. That's just not how things are.
The best is when somebody goes, oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan of yours. I follow everything you do. So where do you live? It's just like, oh my gosh, it's
really?
It's like, it's the wildest thing. Some people, I feel like, there's a couple things I feel. 1, I feel like people don't react. I respond to every single DM I ever get. I don't care how many follows people have. I don't care about any. I literally respond to everybody if it's something that makes sense. I give them a little filter. It's like, I think of social media as your commercial. It's we all have a commercial, and it's how you portray yourself, how people are going to look back at you. And every time I post things now, I'm more conscious of that. I'm like, if somebody doesn't know me and they got a minute or 15 seconds or just one quick glance, I need to portray exactly what I want them to see and think of me. And it's crazy, but that's the perception I have of it. But people don't understand the power of social media. I think it's been used for the wrong reasons. It could be done so differently if people actually genuinely understood that it's not about how many followers you have, how many people liked your post. It's about impact. I think that's what it boils down to, impact. It's about how can I impact somebody's life. And it sounds so corny and cheesy. I say it on every interview I do, anytime I speak to anybody. I don't care anymore about how many fights I win. I'm very super competitive. I don't ever want to lose, but it's not the end all be all. I don't care about how many cars I own. I don't care about how many houses I have. That stuff is irrelevant to me. I just want to help as many people truly as possible as I can. And if I can do that and leave an imprint, because nobody's going to remember me 10, 15 years about me fighting. There's a new hot fighter that's going to come out in the next year or so, or 6 months. It's always going to keep on evolving. It's not going to matter what car I drive. None of that stuff's going to really matter. Me impacting and raising my kids to be good human beings and try to touch and shape as many lives as possible, that's where it's going to leave an impact. If I could be a part of somebody's story, and I don't even know if I might not even know that person's name, but if my name could come up 100, 200, 300 years down the road and say, hey, I heard this guy's story on Carolina's webcast or blog or a podcast, and it made me be a better person, raise my kids better, be a better dad, be a better husband, learn from his mistakes, learn from all. That's where it's powerful. And I would never know. I'll be long gone, but that's what it's about. I think it's about legacy. Some people say that and don't really understand what they're saying because they hear it on Gary Vee or they hear it somewhere and it just sounds cool. It just sounds sexy. And that's the thing that I like. That's the thing that fulfill me. That the impact I make on somebody's life.
Yeah, you said it. Couldn't have said it better. The big problem with social media today is the vanity metrics. Like it all started with how many followers do I have? How many retweets can I get? How many views in my video? And people are always thinking about themselves and not about the impact that they are making. Like, why did this person follow me? They're not just a number. They followed me for a reason. And then what you said about contacting influencers, that's exactly the way that I see it, because people ask me, all right, how did I get to interview Gary Vaynerchuk, or how did I get to interview Grant Cardone? Why did they listen to me? And I tell them, well, because when I contact them, I don't try to get stuff out of them, but I'm trying to give them something. So that is the approach that you need to have. So that's yeah.
I love it.
Well, you got to think about something.
I don't know if something has happened. I got a timeout message. I don't know, Carolina.
Don't worry, I'm figuring that out.
So
okay. No, the reason I asked is because if you want, I can if you want to just pause it, or as long as it's recording still, I could just connect all of us through our Zoom and just email it to you, because our Zoom records.
Yeah, it's still recording, but yeah, it's gonna stop because I have the free version of it still. So I think it's gonna stop at some point, and it's still recording. But yeah, if you guys still have time,
yes.
we could switch.
If you want, we could literally end this really quickly, and I'll just connect us all right back up, and then this way I'll send it directly to you so you have it.
All right, let's do that.
All right,
should be the next.
All right, cool. I'll send it right now. Ooh, what am I doing? There we go. So I gotta end this. Let me leave this.
All right. Thank you guys so much. All right. So let's talk about wait, where were we? What were we talking about before we move on to the next topic? We got a bit sidetracked.
Can't hear you, Eddie.
Yeah, I can hear you, Eddie.
The vanity effect.
Yeah, all right. That's it. That's it. We were talking about the numbers and how it's all about serving those other people that you are, when you're trying to get the attention of someone, the best way is by showing them that you want to help them too. So that's it. Awesome.
I think what people have to realize, and this is something that I didn't understand until I started to reach a certain level of success. We often look at these people and they're very sharp. They really have very strong boundaries. And it's just like, it's so hard to kind of penetrate that particular person. But once you start to achieve a certain level of success, you understand you have to be that way, because the people that you're trying to reach give as much or more than you do. So you
Yes.
have to approach them in a place of period of value. Like, for example, like Eddie was saying, that Eddie was very reserved and very skeptical when I first reached out to him. But once he was comfortable enough with me, I mean, this guy will give you his arm. I mean, that's just how he is. But he has boundaries, and he's very particular about who, not only who he does business with, and rightfully so, but who he allows in his personal space or in his personal circle. And I think it's the case with a lot of these influencers. So you have to go at a place to where you can give them value. And sometimes it takes a little longer than others dealing with certain influencers because they want to make sure that you truly care about them as people first and want to add value to them, because it's a long-term relationship, and a lot of people don't look at it that way. We live in a world, and I want to say world, where instant gratification is dominating everything. So it's just like, okay, I see what Carolina can do for me. I see that, oh, she's like a digital marketing, affiliate marketing guru. So I know if I link with Carolina, maybe I can make some money with her or off her, without even caring about who you are as a person. And I think that's what people mess up. You're showing people that you care nothing about them.
Yeah.
It's huge. That's so huge. And it's powerful, and I think it's a double-edged sword too, because I feel like the reason why a lot of influencers don't reach out to people because they're living such a phony, fake life that they can't interact because they can't keep up with the portrayal. I am fortunate enough where I know a lot of different quote unquote celebrities and people, and I got to spend time with them, and some were completely different than what I expected, and it was a facade. And then there's people that are as real as it gets. Like, if you come to my house and I invite you over you're gonna see the same wallpaper, you're gonna see the same this, the same that. Like, I don't hide what car I drive. I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like nice things. But I loved my Honda Accord. That was my baby. But I was forced to get rid of it because I just outgrew it, and I had to get a minivan. And I'm completely fine with saying I have a minivan. I'm cool with that. I wanted to buy the Bentley, but guess what? I would have been out of my mind getting that. And I do have my Audi. Like, we have our nice car, so if we go somewhere, but it still fits our family. It's something that's going to fit my lifestyle. I'm not going to go rent some car from Enterprise Rent-A-Car and drive around and say, oh, I'm this cool guy, and take a bunch of pictures and then return it. I don't know, but I couldn't look in the mirror and be happy with myself. And the vanity syndrome, I think that's so beautiful and so powerful because so many people are living it. And now everybody's on this truth serum when they talk about, oh, the truth this, the truth that. But it's like, how are you going to talk from two sides of your mouth when you're not living the truth? Just do what you say you're doing, and your followers will actually grow better and be more genuine and reach. I can't stand to buy followers. I get some of the craziest people say, oh, for $50 we get you 5,000 followers. To me, it's insane. I want to grow organically. If I have 100 followers and I post a picture and I have 50 people respond to it, I got 50% engagement. I see people with millions of followers post a picture and it has 1,000 or 500 likes, and it's just like you're almost like, it's almost embarrassing because you're not fooling anybody. Anybody go out there and buy followers, and you're still talking to no one. I always say one's greater than zero. Don't look at, and Carolina, the second you said about you're not getting, you said something so powerful early. You said how you're posting this a lot of content and you only have a certain amount of viewers, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't. One's greater than zero. You have an amazing blog that all it's going to take is just that one person is,
and it's temporary. It's temporary.
And it's just going to blow up and explode, because I'm not going to lie to you. Before Meiyoko told me about you, who you are, I had no clue. And the second I was like, all right, because I hate to do research on anybody. Whenever I interview them, I want to be the guest. I want to ask them questions that somebody that never met them with. And I started researching, and I was just like engulfed with just everything you were talking about, the life that you were living. It was just amazing. And that's all it takes. And yeah, I know you're going to have one of the best podcasts in the world. I guarantee it. I know it for a fact. I know that anything you put your mind to, you're going to accomplish, because you just have the it factor. You have the amazing factor. Like, I I think I was looking at, I can't remember what I was looking at this point. I think it was like so much. It was like a whirlwind. And I was like, I want to work with that woman. Like she's genuine. Like she genuinely cares. And it's like the same thing with Meiyoko. When I read his book and he didn't even know I wanted to write a book. And I was like, who's the first person I went to? I went to him because I was like, this guy's the best-selling author. I want to hear his feedback. I had no idea he would, want to help and format it and this and that. And it was just like everything happens for a reason. I don't ever say that, and don't get me wrong, things go sideways. I'm like mad and sad and pissed off about it. But in the long run, it's like it's a learning process. Everything happens for a reason, and it always comes full circle.
So let me ask you guys something.
Oh, you're taking over. Okay.
No, this is your platform, but I really want to ask you guys something because I want your opinion. What do you think is the biggest thing you learned about your level of success right now? I mean, I want to ask everybody here since this is a nice little threesome here. I'm on this show. I want to hear it from you guys. Not only for your audience, of course, Carolina, but for me, myself, because we learn on every podcast we're on, every guest, every time we're on, we're always learning ourselves. So I would love, just to hear, what Eddie's version, what your version is, and just kind of gain value from that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, beauty before ugly age. So Carolina, you got to go first.
That's right. It's her platform. It's her show. I want to hear her.
Oh, but I love it. I love it when I have guests who are as proactive as you guys, because there are other people where you have to squeeze the answers out of them because they just don't say anything, and then it gets really awkward. But you guys are amazing. I love you.
Thank you.
We're learning from you.
So, well, for me, your question was what's the biggest lesson?
What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned about your level of success so far, your journey?
Yes. Well, one of the things I've learned, because there are a few, but I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the past 12, 18 months is that you can't go very far on your own. And I was trying to do so much on my own, and I still do try to do a lot on my own, but I broke through the fear of delegating and hiring people and realizing that maybe other people could do what I do or some of the things that I do much better. And I was afraid of spending money, to be honest with you. I was afraid of paying other people for things that I could do, because I felt like, why would I pay someone if I can do it? That was my mindset. Like, why would I pay somebody to run my ads when I know how to do it? But then one day I had this realization. I was stuck. I was feeling very stuck because I was trying to do all of those things on my own. Mm-hmm. And then finally I started to let go. The first thing I let go of was my social media. So now I have somebody helping me post on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm still there. I'm still talking to people, replying, doing Instagram stories. But now I'm not stressed all day about, oh my God, what photo am I going to post now?
Right.
Like all those little things that were like taking my time. Then I let go of my Facebook advertising and I hired somebody who can do that and really focus on that so that I can focus on my videos. Then I hired somebody to edit my videos, which now my videos are much better because a video editor is editing them instead of me, because that's not what I do. And I think for me that was a really big lesson, to really focusing my time on the things that I do well instead of trying to get better at the things that I couldn't do that well.
Wow.
Which I think is important.
Am like sitting here, my jaw dropped because you couldn't have said it any more perfect. And I think Meiyoko was laughing because he knew that you were almost talking about me. Like,
that is him. That is all 100% Eddie. Trust me.
Oh wow, we share the same.
It's like so scary because like that's my biggest downfall. It's like I'm a control freak. I want to do everything. I want to know everything. And even with our show that me and Meiyoko do together, we have an editor, we have this, we have that, and I'm still making videos, I'm still doing things. I'm just like, it's like a race, and it's like, why am I doing double work? It's crazy because I have the same issue. I tell them I'm the most frugal. I say it's financially responsible. I am the most frugal person, and it's like, it's because I'm like, wow, why would I pay somebody if I could do that? Why would I do this if I could do that? And what just hit home, to hear somebody else successful say it, I think it's the scared factor. I'm so scared because I feel like I'm too tough on myself, and I want to be just the best at everything I do. I want to be competitive, and I don't ever sit back and say, well, you came a long way. You've done a good job. You're doing the right thing for the right reasons. And I give the best advice to other people, but I don't always take it. And I feel like that's the thing. That's the problem with me. I think success is a continual climb up the mountain, and you never allow yourself to plateau, and you always be willing to learn from other people. And that's what I think, success is. And I'm super, like, to hear you say that, like, blew my mind. Like, I was in awe. I was like, literally like, oh my goodness. But I think everything you said is so true. I love it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What about you? What's your answer?
You're up, Meiyoko. You can't.
I think with me, what I really learned is kind of like your answer, Carolina. But I've learned that when you connect to people that share your same vision, passion, and the objective is similar, that's when everything changes for you. I think oftentimes we look at everybody, what they're doing, and we try to compare our success to their success. But when you actually operate in a space where you know what it is you're passionate about, you have this vision for your life, for yourself, and now the only question is, okay, I have this vision, so who's coming along with me? Who do I need to pick up along the way? And I think what that did for me is it changed my life, because it allowed me to focus. As entrepreneurs, there's so many things, like you talked about, like 3 or 4 things you're delegating now. But there's so many things we're responsible for. But getting to the point and to the place where you start to say, hey, this is what my vision is. This is what I see myself doing. So who do I need, or what type of person do I need to come along with me?
Exactly.
And you start really focusing on that, it really clears the not only the mental clutter from your mind, but you really start to see that you start making much more progress. And I'll use an example. I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I wanted another element to it. I didn't want it to just be me coaching or mindset and things like that. I wanted somebody that had a similarity, but had a different audience, not only a different audience, but just a different story. And when I connected with Eddie, and he was just like, hey, you know what? I always wanted to do a podcast. I was just like, oh, me too. And I was like, you know what? There's really nobody like us that's actually doing it together. This seems pretty cool.
And oh boy, did we fail in the beginning.
Please share the story about how the art of winning came.
So all right. So we decided to do this podcast together, right? And Eddie's like, there's this cool, awesome app. I got a relationship with these guys. It's called Anchor. So literally our first 10 podcasts, I mean, it was good content, but we were literally, before all the videos and stuff that you can see now and all the editing, we were on cell phone to cell phone, talking to each other like on a telephone, trying to do this podcast, and it would cut out. Our videos would cut out. It'd be like 10 minutes, and I'm like, do you want to post it? He's like, oh man, post it. Just do it. Forward progress. This is authentic as it gets. So we would post episodes that would be like 20 minutes long. The other one would be 11 minutes long. And he's just like, we couldn't see each other's expression. We couldn't really feed off of each other's energy. It was quite an experience, but the important thing is we had the same vision and the passion for what we were doing. And one of the things that stuck out about Eddie that I'll definitely say to the people listening is that he's a big proponent of just doing it. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, man, this is only like 7 minutes. Like, got cut off. He's just like, I don't care. Put it out there. Like, the content, somebody will grasp the content. It'll help somebody.
And my theory behind it was like, I want our audience to grow with us. Like, you do a podcast and start with 1 million followers. To me, that's phony. You're buying those followers, or you're influencing somebody to get it. Like, they're gonna grow with us. You know, our listeners are gonna evolve with us. And it was kind of crazy because I had a relationship with the developers from Anchor, and they always wanted me to post stuff. They gave me like the beta testing and all this stuff, and I was just like, I would play with it, and it was just like, everything came together because the Meiyoko wanted to do it and we didn't know where to start. I was like, hey, I got a friend at Anchor. Let me call them. And like we had a conference call. We put the whole team together and we started just like saying, all right. And we still didn't, honestly, Meiyoko, we didn't take advantage of all the resources because we had somebody there that was going to actually do stuff for us, But we were just like, you know what? Let's just do it ourselves. We wanted to just be as raw and as real,
Awesome.
fuzzy noise, background, all types of craziness. And now to be like, for them to reach out back out to us and say, hey, we love what you're doing with the show. We're doing some ads. We want to highlight you guys. It's like, it's crazy to just see how it goes full circle in such a period of time. And if anybody listening can get anything from this story is, it's never going to be the right moment. It's never going to be perfect. Having kids, starting a business, changing a job, going through weight loss, dieting, starting a new bit, anything, it'll never be perfect. Lose the perfection syndrome, because you're going to miss out on so many great opportunities. Like I did, I missed out on so many things. I don't want to even talk about it because I might start crying. I should be a multi-billionaire by now, but it's okay. It's a part of the process.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to be imperfect. We are all perfectly imperfect, and that's okay. You will have more genuine, real people that love what you're doing when they can see something that's relatable. People are not going to relate to a podcast right away that's just so pitch perfect, and it's just not going to happen. Like, we're not all Gary Vee, we're not all Joe Rogan, we're not all like we're not there yet. And if you look at their early stuff,
yes, I was going to say that.
It's not worse. It's a process. It takes time. It might take a year for some person, it might take 5 months, it might take 10 years, but it's all going to be something that once you get there, it's amazing. Like I'm big into like physical now, because after transforming my body, it wasn't the body that transformed, it was the mind. When I was 300 pounds, I was no different than when I'm 185 pounds. That for me was priceless. The whole process of me going through losing the weight, changing my mental mindset, that's enjoyable. I want people to get that benefit, and it translates into life. Anything you do, it translates. So all your listeners, go for it. Just go for it. Just take a leap of faith and like grow your wings on the way down. I don't care if you think you know it all. You're gonna make mistakes, and if you do know it all, you're doing the wrong thing because it's not challenging enough for you.
Right.
Beautiful. Excellent. Well said. Well said. So you both have written best-selling books. Why don't you give us a few? Because, and this is for me, I'm asking for me because I've been struggling to write a book for a while. So maybe you can help
need to talk to me.
So maybe I need to talk to you.
Let me tell you something. This like, it's Carolina. You're. I don't think you realize how good you are at interviewing yet, because you leave little trails, and it just opens up the floodgates. Because something that me and Meiyoko, like, we've been so passionate about helping celebrities and athletes and other people tell their story and not get taken advantage of. Because I've got taken advantage of, Miyoko's been taken advantage of. I know so many different athletes that get taken advantage of when it comes to writing books, when it comes to doing all these different things. And Yoko and I, we actually started our own branding company where we're helping, people tell their story. Because that's our biggest thing. Is like, we want the average person to tell. Everybody has a story. Everybody. And it's just about how you tell it. And we just never know. And the fact that you just said that, it's mind-blowing, because this guy right here he's unbelievable. He has a passion for it. And what he's amazing at is putting everything together. Like, I'm like the guru when it comes to marketing, this and it's like when you put great minds together, nothing but amazing things can happen. You didn't probably even write a sentence yet. I'm gonna like pre-order 1,000 copies of your book, because I know once you get it together, it's gonna be mind-blowing. Like, I don't have no benefit from saying this, but I was so glued to your YouTube. I keep coming back to a full circle because it was real. I felt like I was on an airplane sitting next to
I love
going through the little bag. It was just crazy. And I'm just saying, something just as simple as that, you just sharing your experience, was so powerful. Like, I don't think you understand yet, but you probably do understand, because like you're light years ahead. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Like, I hit subscribe before I could even get through it. And it was just like, you were so real and authentic. You're like, listen, guys, I didn't record. I was so mad. Like, I felt your emotion. I felt everything that you were going through. And that's beautiful. That's the part that's beautiful.
So I just want to make a comment on you saying you're struggling with your book. So this is for you, and this is for everybody listening.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of people struggling about.
Because here's the thing: when it comes to writing books, we overanalyze it way too much. So I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to write your book. Don't focus on the title. Do not focus on the chapters. Just write. So when you become inspired and you're sitting, like, let's say you're just chilling, you've done a vlog or a podcast and you have that inspiration, write it down, it doesn't have to all come together and make sense right away. I didn't have the title of my book until a week before it was being published.
Wow.
So I didn't have the chapters of my book until all the writing was done. So sometimes the greatest title, sometimes the chapters come later. And I think we focus too much on sequential order. Oh my God, what's the title of my book? Oh my God, what's chapter 1? And don't think about it that way. Whenever you're inspired to write and you feel that creative energy flowing, everybody out there knows what I mean. You know what I mean. When you feel that energy flowing, just write, and you'll find out that you can piece it together later. That's like one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you for writing a book. We overthink it way too much.
That is amazing, because obviously the first thing I did was buy the domain name for the title.
Yeah.
and then I made a list of chapters, and I thought, all right, this sounds good. I'll figure out what the chapters.
Well, that's what makes you stuck. That's what makes you stuck, because now you have a title, and now you have 1 or 2 chapters, and everything has to be written around these chapters. Don't worry about the chapters. The chapters are in your story.
That's beautiful. And that's the part that I love about this guy, because like when I wrote my book was done. Like I wrote the book and I just sent it to Yoko just like I wanted to hear his impact, because I never wrote a book. I never thought I would ever write a book. The only reason I ever wrote a book was because every speaking engagement I did, people were like, I want something to walk away with. Every time I meet somebody, like, you gotta have something, and I was like, I don't have anything. What am I gonna give you? I'm not. And then after I won a New York Emmy on my life story, which is literally probably 2 years of my whole entire life, I'm like, they can't tell a story better than I can about my life. And I'm like, there's so much that they missed. They missed my ups, my downs, my dirt. And I was just like, I'm giving that to people. And I wanted to keep it short, because I was never a big reader. I wanted somebody to be able to sit down and get through the book like a movie, 3, 4, 5 hours, if there's a good reader, and get it done and be like, oh man, and want more. And I had this big, long dissertation. I hated it. And I sent it to Meiyoko, and the fact that he read it and he knew it, like, I thought this guy's never gonna read my book, whatever. I sent it to him. He read it, and he was coming back saying, oh my God, I like this part. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I was like, oh my God, this guy read it. Holy smokes. Wow. And then we chopped it down. We got it to where it was now I can impact people. I could get them. They could have it. We could teach from it. It was amazing. And it was just like, when I was reading it, we might have edited it a billion times. Oh, wow. And I never got tired of reading it. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. He's like, that's why this book is going to be good, because you wrote it. And if you're not bored reading it, somebody will read it. And for me, the aha moment was when Meiyoko told me, man, listen, fighting is great and all, but that's not your calling. And I was like, this guy's out of his mind. He must have had a drink or two. And it didn't make sense to me until after the book was out, maybe like a week or 2 later. I got a random DM from a kid. And I never thought my book would appeal. I thought it would be for entrepreneurs, people older.
Oh, I don't hear you. Oh.
Fell in love with it. And this contacted me from across the world and was like, I am so grateful for this book. And if you can go through all these adversities that I've been going through and you made it, like, I actually want to live again. And I was just like, wait a second. And I just reached out and I was talking. And he's like, yeah, I contemplate taking my own life. And when I realized that, man, I could have saved this kid's life or had some role into it and let him see that there's more to him, like, that was mind blowing. I took a screenshot of it, never posted it. I would never share it. Every day that I wake up and I'm feeling a little bit down, feeling a little sorry for myself, I go through my phone, I look at it, I read it over and over again, and it motivates me, saying, there's a reason. There's a kid out there. There's somebody out there that needs me to keep doing it. And by all means, I am not perfect. I've made so many errors and mistakes, but if I can help somebody else not make the same mistakes, not make the same errors, then my life is fulfilled. And it's just mind blowing some of the videos from random people I never met that I shared them with Yoko because he's just a bigger part of the book, if not bigger than me. He's the brains of the operation. Like there's people that send me videos and the guy tell me how he read the book 4 times, 5 times, 6, and he just keeps reading it over and over. And the fact that he sends me videos, it's like he's got nothing to gain from it. And it's like I sent it to Yoko, he's like, I told you, man. Like I hate to say I told you so, but there's so much more to it. And the book lives on forever. It'll live on forever. It's like that's the power of it. So I am excited for your book. I can't even wait. I'm super.
I was about to say, so you need to have that book.
I know, I do. So if you can help me further, then we need to talk. We need to talk.
He's the guy. Like,
but
it's like
the title is done, though. Don't make me change the title.
Hey, we can still work around the title.
I want to know what the title is. I'm dying to hear the title. I got it.
You gotta hear the title?
I'm like dying to hear it. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm actually not sure I even like it that much.
Yeah. Listen, all right. So I won't pull. We'll talk about it offline.
Don't pull her arm. Don't pull her arm.
I'll tell you off the podcast so that people don't go looking for it.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
My dear friends, any final words of encouragement for people listening, people who are inspired by your stories, by your struggles, by your successes? I know that a lot of people listening are probably in a place in their lives where they think they're not good enough, that they're not going to get to where they want to be. What would you tell them to encourage them?
I'll go first, I guess, Yoko. I will tell. This is very I'm like getting choked up even thinking about it, because everybody listening, I've been there. I've been to the point in my life where I had no money. I had it. I came from having it all to dropping, falling flat on my face, hitting rock bottom. But sometimes we need that in life. Like that's where our best and our biggest and strongest foundations are always built. I've been in restaurants where my kids want something and I couldn't even afford to get them exactly what they want and myself, and I would just make up a story saying, "Oh, Daddy's dieting," or "Oh, I'm getting ready for a fight," or something, just so I wasn't embarrassed. And it's okay. It's okay to feel a certain way. It's okay if it didn't hurt and it didn't mean anything for you, then it wasn't meant for you. So you're going to go through struggles. It's called life. Like you don't want the flat line. If you're living a flat line, you're not living, you're dead. You need the highs, you need the lows. If anybody can get anything from what I'm going to say right now, it's short, it's sweet. Don't get too high with the highs and do not get too low with the lows. Like just find a happy median that makes you happy. Not mom, not dad, not your spouse, not your kids, not anybody. That makes you happy, because until you're truly happy, you will never be able to help anybody else. Until you're truly happy and can love yourself and accept your losses because they're yours, they're nobody else's, you'll never find true success, because you're going to always be internally in turmoil. So be happy, love yourself first. It sounds so corny, and don't get too high with the highs, don't get too low with the lows. And that's the best advice I could possibly give to anybody listening.
Outstanding. Yoko.
I think what I would say to people out there listening is that from this day forward, stop giving away your greatness to someone else. And here's what I mean. The power, fear has power, fear of failure, fear of success, all those different things. But the power source is in other people. So the moment you stop worrying about what other people think of you, the more you can focus on yourself and what you truly want. So I want everybody listening to ask themselves, is there someone or something in your life that has more of a pull on your goals than you do? And if that's the case, why is that? So I really want people to ask themselves that question, because the moment you stop giving other people that particular power, only then you can uncover and unlock the greatness that is in you. And that's what I have to say.
Wow. Can I applaud? That was amazing. Thank you, guys. It's a beautiful message.
Thank you so much, Carolina.
Thank you so much for having us. Like, this is like amazing. I'm like mind blown. This is my.
I know. I'm like, we gotta close this thing out. Otherwise, Eddie is gonna keep going.
Guys, I could keep going. I mean, you're so amazing, and I think we're definitely gonna do another one of these. And
Awesome.
we're gonna have to meet in person. I'm gonna have to fly over there. Where are you guys located?
I'm in Jersey. He's in New York.
I'm gonna be in New York at the end of July. So.
Oh, okay.
Do we have a date?
That's so funny. That's the perfect time because my fight is July 5th, and I will be back. I'm fighting in DC, so I'll be back in New York right around like that. The kids don't know yet, so I'm like probably planning a vacation for them after I fight. So I'll be back before the end of July because July is an amazing month. My birthday is July, so
awesome. I'm going. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to be there probably around July 27th until 3rd of August or so. I'm attending a conference, and I'm actually speaking at this conference. It's called the Affiliate Summit. And so
I think that's gonna be the first conference I might have to go because everything you said so far has been gold, and I almost feel like I'm a good stalker. I've been stalking all the information. It's mind blowing, and like I'm gonna keep sharing because I honestly, Caroline, like when I find somebody that's amazing and that's great, I just want to share it with the world so that somebody else gets shared and paid forward. And you are that person. Like I'm truly grateful for having Meiyoko. I'm having you because without Meiyoko, I would have never like found you. I'm so grateful. Meiyoko, you keep on. You're setting the bar too high. Gosh.
Oh gosh. Yoko, he's the mastermind behind everything.
That's it, man. He's the connector.
I just see great people, and it just works.
It happens.
Awesome.
So it's been a pleasure for sure. Thank you guys so much for accepting my invitation, for having me on your show as well. I cannot wait for it to go live. I think people are going to absolutely love it. So for everybody listening right now, go follow these guys. Where can people find you?
This is the first time I get to advertise my own name. I'm so excited. On Instagram, I am Truck Gordon. That's it. I am Truck Gordon on Instagram. On Facebook, my verified page is Truck Gordon. This is so amazing. And it's unlimited. I'm trying to navigate everybody from my personal page to my verified page because I have 1,000 people waiting in the friend request, and they probably think I'm a jerk, but I can't accept them. So everybody go follow my Facebook verified page. It's unlimited. It's facebook.com/Truck Gordon. And Twitter, I'm still working on Twitter, so I gotta get rid of that Truck MMA_UFC. But I'm always on Instagram and Facebook. That's like my two homes away from home. And theartofwinningshow.com. And I'll let Meiyoko go next.
It's mine is very simple. It's Instagram and Twitter is at MeiyokoTaylor.com. That's M as in Mary, EIYOKO Taylor. And my website is www.MeiyokoTaylor.com. Surprise there.
Surprise.
And always definitely go to theartofwinningshow.com and definitely continue to support Carolina Millan because she is awesome.
Yes, go subscribe to Carolina's YouTube channel. It's amazing. You will not be disappointed. And I'm not even getting any affiliate, anything from it. And I've shared probably 10 times already because everybody's going to subscribe to you because it's insane. I'm like, if you want to laugh, smile, and like be amazing, and like go follow it. Like you have to. That's it. If you don't, you're missing out. So
thank you guys so much. My heart is full right now. Thank you.
Good.
All right.
Awesome.
So I look forward to see you very soon. Thank you so much again. And I can't wait to connect with you guys again. I'm really, really excited. We'll keep in touch.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great day.